Hi class, today we're going to talk about solving inequalities. We'll start with our standardized test practice problem, and what we want to do is solve this absolute value equation. So we start by isolating the absolute value. Let's add 1 to both sides of the equation. We will have 2 times the absolute value of 3x minus 1 equals negative 4. Now divide both sides by 2, and we will have the absolute value of 3x minus 1 equals negative 2. We are going to stop right there because the absolute value cannot be negative, so this equation has no solution. Now we'll look at one-step inequalities and the properties that are used to solve them. For any real numbers a, b, and c, if a is less than b, then a plus c is less than b, and a minus c is less than b minus c. If a plus c is greater than b plus c, then a minus c is greater than b minus c. These properties are also true when we have less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. The multiplication and division properties are as follows. If c is a positive number, and a is less than b, then a times c is less than b times c, and a divided by c is less than b divided by c. If c is positive and a is greater than b, then ac is greater than bc, and a divided by c is greater than b divided by c. If, however, c is negative and a is less than b, then ac is greater than bc, and a divided by c is greater than b divided by c. When we're working with a negative, we flip our inequality around. So therefore, if c again is negative and a is greater than b, then ac is less than bc, and a divided by c is less than b divided by c. Now, we're going to express our answers using interval notation. Interval notation looks like this. When we're working with less than, let the arrow point you towards negative infinity up to the value, enclose both ends in parentheses. If our inequality is greater than, let the inequality point you towards positive infinity. So we start with a value, go towards positive infinity, and we put both ends in parentheses. If we have less than or equal to, we change the parenthesis to a bracket around just the value. The infinity will always be in a parenthesis. Greater than or equal to, again, the bracket is around the value, but the parenthesis always goes around infinity. Okay, so we're going to solve and then express our answers with interval notation. We'll let the number line help us to do this. So on the first problem, we're going to divide both sides by 7 to start with. And that will give us 7a minus 9 is less than or equal to 12. We'll add 9 to both sides. And we'll have 7a is less than or equal to 21. So if we divide both sides by 7, a will will be less than or equal to 3. The interval notation would look like this. You have it pointing towards negative infinity, so we would do a parenthesis, negative infinity, it's kind of like a sideways 8, comma, 3, bracket, since it's less than or equal to. On the number line, what it would look like is you would put a bracket at 3, you would shade towards negative infinity, and put the negative infinity in parentheses, just for practice. On number 2, we're going to start with subtracting 6 from both sides. That will give us 4 times b minus 7 is less than 16. Divide both sides by 4. b minus 7 is less than 4. Add 7 to both sides. b is less than 11. Again, we're pointing towards negative infinity, so we start with an open parenthesis, negative infinity. We're going up to 11, but because it's less than, we're going to put that in parentheses. So what we do on our number line is we put a parenthesis at 11, we shade towards negative infinity, and we enclose in parentheses. On number 3, let's start by dividing by 5. That will give us 12 minus 3n is less than 35. Let's subtract 12 from both sides. I'm checking my math really quick. 5 goes into 16 3 times, which is 15. And then we would have 5 into 15. I'm sorry, that should be a 33. Now subtract 12 from both sides. We will have that negative 3n is less than 21. Now we're dividing by negative 3, so remember to flip the inequality. N will be greater than negative 7. So we start at negative 7 with a parenthesis. We go towards positive infinity, and we enclose infinity in a parenthesis. So parenthesis at negative 7, shade towards positive infinity, and close that in a parenthesis. Okay, we're going to skip 4 and 6, so you can mark those off. And let's look at number 5. So the first thing we want to do on 5 is distribute through by 2 on the right side. So we will have 18 minus 4k is less than 2k plus 42. Subtract 2k from each side. And we will have 18 minus 6k is less than 42. I'm going to work the rest down here. I'm going to subtract 18 from both sides. So I will have negative 6k is less than 24. I'm going to divide by negative 6. And I'm going to remember that I'm going to flip my inequality that k is greater than negative 4. So for my interval notation, I'm going to start at parenthesis, negative 4, comma, infinity, parenthesis. Same thing on the number line, parenthesis at -4, go towards positive infinity, close it in a parenthesis. Multi-step inequalities, this statement applies. An inequality is a statement that involves placing the inequality sign between two expressions in order to solve the inequality. You need to find the set of all the values of the variable that makes the inequality true. We're also going to leave off the word problems on this section, so mark out example C. And we will do the following 3 examples to show multi-steps. On the first one, I would put a 1 underneath the C, and I would set the cross products equal. So I will have 3C is greater than or equal to 1 times C plus 4, which is C plus 4. Subtract a C from both sides. 2C will be greater than or equal to 4. Divide by 2. C will be greater than or equal to 2. So since this is greater than or equal to, we enclose the 2 in a bracket, comma, we're going towards positive infinity, we enclose infinity in a parenthesis. So bracket at 2, towards positive infinity, enclose infinity in parentheses. On number 8, we need to distribute on the right side first. So we will have R plus 7 is less than 6R minus 18. We will subtract 6R from both sides. And we will have negative 5R plus 7 is less than negative 18. We'll subtract 7 from both sides. And I'm going to carry my answer down here, or my work down here. Negative 5R is less than negative 25. Now I'm dividing by a negative 5. So I need to remember to flip my inequality around, and we will have that R is greater than 5. So I start with an open parenthesis around 5. I'm going towards positive infinity. I enclose the infinity in parentheses. So go to 5, put a parenthesis, shade towards positive infinity, close in parentheses. On number 9, we'll set it up like we did number 7. We will start by putting a 1 underneath the left side so that we've got 2 fractions. And we will cross multiply, set the cross products equal. 5 times 3h is 15h is less than 1 times 2h plus 26, so 2h plus 26. Subtract 2h from both sides. (13h) is less than 26. Divide both sides by 13. H is less than 2. So this time we're heading towards negative infinity on the left, up to 2. Close it in parentheses since it's a less than, not a less than or equal to. Go to the number line, put an open parenthesis at 2, shade towards negative infinity, and enclose that in parentheses. I hope that you're starting to understand interval notation. It's actually kind of fun. Just refer back to the first page if you get confused on the brackets or the parentheses. We're also going to mark off the example of a word problem. So just don't forget to do the what did you learn, because that's worth 5 points of the grade. And then I hope you have a great day.